Okay, back again. I've tried to sort out this roof line today, and in doing so realised very quickly that it's fruitless until I sort of just try and piece together what's happening here with all of this stuff. So the idea is, first of all, it looks like it's being held together by sticky tape, and it basically is. So I've put all the bits that I've got floating around together with racing tape, and I'm just trying to get some idea of where these windows are going to sit and where the door skin, the front nose skin sits, and this sits, and this piece here is just flapping in the breeze. And that's what led me into putting this in, is I'm trying to work out where it sits up here and where this line goes. Right now it's way out. It's out by about nearly 2 inches. So something's got to move. And today I went out searching for a replacement hinge for this up here. The hardware stores that we have, you know, a lot of them are very, very basic and very cheap. Everything's very cheap nowadays. You can't buy good quality stuff, and the heavy duty hinges that I was looking for, you know, they basically don't come in the lengths that I want. So this is a nice thick gauge of steel. I'm after a thick gauge. I don't want thin stuff, so this is roughly what I'm looking for, and that would work. So you'd have that up there, and you'd have to butt them all up together. The idea that I had of using these other marine hinges that I had floating around in a box, it's these ones here. So they're quite nice. They're 316 stainless. They're very nice quality. So don't know, I don't think so. They'd have to sort of sit up like that, and then I'd have to cut them down, and I'd have like 7 across. Don't know about that idea. A lot of work for, I think, something that probably won't look right in the end. I mean, these were very utilitarian. This stuff is very utilitarian. It's built for purpose, and it wasn't built for style. So these are good. They work out to be quite expensive if you've got to buy individual ones and tack them all along in a big line. And then you've got to be exact as well. So I gave up on that idea. I actually put this in my pocket when I was at the hardware store, so I'm going to have to take it back tomorrow because I didn't pay for it. Someone remind me. So anyway, I found this hinge. It's nickel plated, but that's okay. And this was basically 1 meter long, so it was double the length plus a little bit. And I just cut it to length, and I'm just going to use that, and I'm going to put it up there, and I just have to trim just ever so slightly down for this length here. So, and I gather that's probably just welded along this panel anyway, along this frame. So I'll probably take it all the way to where the holes are. Oh no, actually I'll just trim it and then weld through the holes. That'll work. I'll use them as a spot hole, and then this will be up on the top. So that wasn't too bad. It was, I think it was $25 Australian. So it's a cheap fix. It's a quick fix, and it'll probably look good too in the end. So it'll make the front of the vehicle look nice. I don't really like the idea of having a weld in there. I might come up with some idea to stop the weld tarnishing that nickel, but if so, that'll just have to be. Yeah, but I could put a screw through it and then through the frame, and then without the glass in it, and then grind it flush on the inside of the frame and then weld that section, and then I just have a screw poking through and the heat won't go through to that. I don't know. See what happens. But anyway, I've got these two. So the whole front end up the top there is starting to look like it's newer. I wouldn't say it's new, but newer. And now I'm just trying to deal with this headache. This is a real big headache. I reckon I spend more time staring at this a day than I go to real work. It's just so many different angles and measurements at the moment. So, and a lot of this stuff just isn't even here. So I'm sort of guessing as I go, but I'm sure you realise that by now. I'll stop saying it, but that's where I'm at. And trying to think about a way of rebuilding these frames. I thought I could use my bead roller. I might be able to make something up just for a one-time purpose. I'll probably have to roll out 2 meters of this in total, and then obviously shrink the corners down. And it's not a perfect square. I've just realised there's a bit of a point, so there's actually 3 curves, 3 bends there. I reckon if I made a die that was like that and then enclosed it with another die so they reached in, then I could probably do that. But I don't have the lathe, so I'd have to pay someone. It'd probably cost me, I don't know, $100, $150 to get it made up. But I think that something like that's worth buying. I could probably buy the window frames. I'm not sure how much they are. But anyway, so I'm just trying to work out these gaps now. So I supported this today, so the roof line was square or vertical, and or plumb. And I've just realised now that I'm trying to fit these windows in to get me some sort of reference, because this is where I can't start on this until I get this right, and I can't get that right until I've got all the measurements. So it's sort of a big game of Sudoku at the moment, trying to find the one number that I can start with and then work my way around. These are helping out that I made the other day. That actually, I just tacked it into that for now, just to give me a baseline to come across here from the skin, and that way I can get a height. So that'll get me one distance, providing the rake is correct. If the rake is wrong, then obviously this has to come down, or if the rake is too far, then this has to come up. So this is the real finicky stuff now for me. You don't really think much about it until you're standing here trying to work it out, and it's just one of those sagas that I'm just going to have to put myself through for the next little bit and work on it. Not much else to report. If anyone does know, if they can help me out, it would be very helpful. The gap between this, so this is a factory Safari window. This come out of the factory like this. This wasn't something somebody put in at a later date. This is a very, very old bus, so 1955, original glass, which obviously is no good, this one, but the rest of it is good. But what I need is the gap between there and there, and then maybe even the gap between there and there. If anyone knows if there's like a a standardized piece of rubber that went in there that's 2 mils or 3 mils or 4 mils thick, then I'd be able to make up some shims, and then I'd be able to glue them in or tape them in, and then obviously it's probably all the way around as well, because if I go forward from this now and start locking stuff away and I haven't accounted for that gap, then obviously it's just not going to be right. So everything's movable now, so trying to get those little details is pretty good. Funnily enough, one of the YouTubers gave me some measurements, and the measurements of their hinge is actually different to mine. So mine is 2.2 centimeters and hers is 2. So I don't know whether that was just a slight error, but error in either my part or her part. But 2.2 is 0.2 of a centimeter difference. It's not a lot, but I think that sort of detail probably makes a lot of difference when you're trying to fit the window in down the bottom and you're short 2 millimeters. Not too sure. Anyway, I'll leave you with it, and please leave me a comment if you can help out, because help is definitely needed. So if anyone can give me a resource for maybe even the angle of the rake here at the nose on this pillar, there's probably some sort of material out there that gives you that angle. And yeah, that definitely that, and down here as well, and I'll go from there. Happy days. Have a great day. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and have a good one.